Hi friends, Toy here. I'm doing this episode for you to share with a loved one or a caregiver that knows you have OCD, that is aware of what you're going through, but might not really know about OCD, because if you don't have it, you really have a hard time understanding it, and that's nobody's fault. It's just hard to understand, right? It's hard to explain. I thought that it would be good if you're a loved one and you stumbled upon this video. This is a great place to find some quick resources. I will put resources in the show notes for you, some things that I think are quick and helpful that you can share with a loved one, or if you're a loved one, that you can grab yourself. Okay, here we go. First and foremost, educate yourself. I'll put some resources, but educate yourself. Understanding as much as you can about OCD will help you understand what your loved one is going through. I did take some notes to keep me on track, so that's why I might be glancing down. You need to be patient and compassionate with your loved one, and just give them the grace and space that they need to do what they need to do to get better. I mean, that should be obvious, but it's not always, because from an outsider's perspective, OCD doesn't make any logical sense. If you have a sore throat, or if you have, a broken arm, people go, okay, that makes sense. That person has an ailment. But it's really hard to understand OCD because it's internal, right? Mental illness is such, but it's just as bad as having a broken arm. Okay. So encouraging and supporting the treatment plan. Encourage your loved one, if they're not, to go try to see somebody. It might take many somebodies. There's still a struggle at finding therapists that really can treat OCD. OCD is a very specialized field, and I was lucky to finally find the most amazing therapist on the planet, at least in my opinion. But there's some really great therapists out there. But it took me a long time to find that person, and a waiting list, which was rough. Providing a safe and supportive environment. Your loved one's going to do some stuff that you think is just downright weird, and you need that person. You need the person that you love with OCD to know that it's okay, that they're in a safety zone with you. Okay. Respect boundaries. So you can accommodate your loved one with OCD. In a minute, I'll talk about what not to do there, but don't do the OCD for them. But just also respect that sometimes, with my husband, when he didn't understand things, it would be like, I just need space. I just need, stop battling with my OCD. I need space. So just again, giving your person grace and space. Taking care of yourself. Being with someone with OCD can be super frustrating and very, very taxing. So make sure you're giving yourself space. It's okay to say, hey, I gotta go for a walk. I gotta do something. Just be kind about it, and your person will understand. If your loved one with OCD is okay with it, attend a therapy session together, or attend a group session. There are many support groups and things online. I'll share some of those in the show notes as well. But that's a great way to knock a bunch of these things out, because you'll be educated. You maybe find some other folks that are in your shoes that can help support you, and it's just really good, again, and taking care of yourself. That's part of it. And then being an advocate and encouraging professional help if your loved one isn't getting it. Those are really, really super important. All right. What not to do. Please don't trivialize or dismiss your loved one's OCD. Okay. Most people who have obsessive compulsive disorder are pretty smart cookies. I mean, you'd have to be smart to deal with what OCD is doing to you inside your head and still be working and moving through life, right? I mean, anyway, your OCD person absolutely understands 100,000% that they have OCD and it doesn't make sense. Your person with OCD knows that the things that they do are illogical, and they hate that. And it drives them crazy. So you do not need to reason with them and say, oh, well, just stop doing that. I'm gonna tell you, if I had a nickel for every person that was like, that doesn't make sense, just stop doing that. I'm like, and you want to go, oh yeah, thanks. Well, if I'd only thought about that. No, we have thought about it. We can't stop. If we could, we wouldn't have OCD. So sorry, I had to go on that tangent because I had so many people in my life be like, well, just don't do that. You want to punch them in the face when they say that, don't you? Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't punch anyone in the face, but I wanted to. So you don't need to do that. They understand it's illogical. Also, really important, don't criticize or ridicule. Don't fight with OCD. Unfortunately, my husband and I did have a couple of times where it was just really overwhelming for him. And I was having an OCD attack that was just, level a billion anxiety, right? Like there was no logic coming into my brain. I had a Wonder Woman, like invisible shield around my head, and no logical thought was going to come in. No matter how loud you are as a loved one, if you're arguing with OCD, what's going on inside your loved one's head is way louder. You can't yell it out. You can't logic it away. When I would get to a certain level of anxiety, again, it's like a shield. There's no logic going in. It doesn't matter what you say. My OCD is just louder than you could ever be. So you can't criticize or ridicule. It's not going to help. It's only going to make things harder and worse. And it's also going to make your person feel a great deal of shame and guilt because they're smart. They know how hard this is for you. And in that moment, you just, as someone with OCD, you feel shameful and guilty, and it's not good, okay? You also can't take these behaviors personally. It's not an attack on you. It's not going to make sense to you, so just don't take it personally. It's not you. It's the OCD. Don't avoid, also for yourself, don't avoid seeking support. Don't, like I mentioned before, find a group therapy session. They're free online. You can find a group of support of people that can support you in your journey and also give you some advice if they're a little further ahead in their journey with their person than you are. Also, don't force your person with OCD to confront their fears before they're ready. If your loved one is in therapy, they are and they're in the right therapy, which again might take some time, they're going through their hierarchy. You can watch a couple videos ago, I talked about a hierarchy. They're going through their ERP and they're doing the hardest step they can do in that moment. They're pushing themselves, but they can't go diving into the deep end of the pool before they're ready. So don't push them on that. Just let them go at their own pace. Encourage it. Encourage ERP. Encourage them to continue and push forward with therapy, but you can't force them into it if they're not ready. And please don't ignore or minimize any thoughts of suicide or severe anxiety. I can't say this any more seriously. That needs immediate treatment. Even though some of the stuff your person with OCD might say, if that does come up, you need to address it immediately. Okay? So that's all I have to share today. Again, I will put resources that I found helpful and good and in the show notes so that you can grab those. I hope that this video was helpful, and bye.